Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. Today we're going to do a review for GameDevVR. GameDevVR is a game just out of early access, officially released on the Steam store today for the HTC Vive, Valve Index, and the Oculus Rift. It normally retails for $5. It's currently on sale 20% off. And I had already originally did a Let's Play initial impressions review a while back. On my original Let's Play, I gave this game a 5 out of 10, a neutral recommendation. It was in early access, and I just thought the game was overpriced for the limited amount of content there was. But I really liked the concept. I thought it was a good concept. It just could be executed better. Unfortunately, since that time, the game was released on early access, but if I'm being honest, I don't notice any difference at all between September 2019, when I did that original Let's Play initial impressions review when the game first released, until now. Now that the game's out of early access, honestly, I don't believe there were any changes made to the game. There's something about a December update, for Christmas, but other than that, there doesn't seem to be any changes. In fact, the game's still bugged. I complained back in September 2019 that when you finish the game, this is the screen that you got, and believe it or not, it's still here. I actually uninstalled this game and just reinstalled it today, and I still have the same error. Basically, once you beat the game, you can't play it anymore. And yes, I uninstalled and reinstalled the game, and I still have the error. And you do have to keep drinking and eating. It's pretty fast. It really sucks, actually. You do have full locomotion, snap turning, teleportation options. But yeah, this game, there's really not much to do. You can play the drums. You can break windows. You can use the baseball bat. But the game dev part is basically just this. You press 0 and 1. You keep pressing it. It goes to 100%. Phase 1 is finished. You go to phase 2. You repeat the process. You press 0 and 1. It goes to 100%. Then you put on the VR headset and you play a very basic game of boxing or bowling. They're terrible, to be honest with you. They're not. They're pretty bad. Probably one of the worst bowling / boxing games in VR that you can play. So yeah, this game is not worth $5. It's not worth the sale price. It's not worth anything. Originally, I gave this game a 5 out of 10. Now that I'm revisiting my review for GameDevVR, I'm changing my score to a 3 out of 10. This is Steam's failure, letting a game like this in early access into the Steam store and letting it get out of early access without any updates really to the game. There's been no fixes to the game. It's still broken. Still the same bug that existed back in September 2019. It hasn't been fixed. There's been no content added. This is a Steam failure, Steam early access failure. There's no punishment for devs that do this, and that's basically what's wrong with the early access program. It relies basically on people like me to review the game after it's released out of early access to tell you, hey, there were no updates. Hey, the game's still broken. And that's really the only punishment to these devs. There's no other punishment. They go on. They get to release their game basically twice new on the Steam store and be featured twice. Even though there's been no updates, no work on the game since the day of initial release on early access, and there ought to be some punishment to these devs that do this. There really isn't, and Steam Valve basically leaves the onus on the users, the consumers, who, by the way, most of them have to waste their money to find out, hey, the game hasn't been fixed, it's still broken, oh, it still has these bugs, oh, it still doesn't work. And that's just a broken system. Honestly, at some point, somebody should get sued because Steam is not protecting consumers. I love Steam. I hope people don't misunderstand. I love Steam. I love the low prices, the sales, the community, the Steam features, but that doesn't mean that we should just let Steam get off without any criticism. And the biggest criticism I have of Steam is the early access program and how it's basically the wild, wild west. And it leaves it up to the consumer to find out probably too late that the game they bought doesn't really function, and that promises were made. The game was bought based on those promises, and then there's no repercussions to those days. It's basically fraud. It's what it is. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. I don't recommend this game. I'm going to change my review of this game. I'm going to change my previous review. I gave it a 5 out of 10, a neutral recommendation. I'm going to give it a negative 3 out of 10. This is a broken game out of early access. It basically wasn't updated. None of the promises were kept by the dev. And I strongly recommend you do not buy this game. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.